Today we are going to be taking a look at the coordinate plane and reviewing some vocabulary about the coordinate plane, and then also just practicing graphing points and picking points from the graph. When we talk about the horizontal line on a coordinate plane, we are talking about the x-axis. So horizontal, if you think like horizon when you look at the sun, your x-axis is that one that moves left and right. The vertical line on our coordinate plane, or tells us how to move up or down, is our y-axis, like a thermometer. When you are looking at points that are given as an x and y coordinate pair, that is called an ordered pair. These always come in the form x, then y, thinking like alphabetical order. The other thing that we have about our coordinate plane that you should know is that it's sectioned into 4 different parts, which are called quadrants. The quadrants are going to start in the upper right-hand corner. This would be quadrant 1, and they're always labeled with Roman numerals. And then we're going to move counterclockwise, or think about like making a giant C. So upper left is quadrant 2, bottom left is quadrant 3, and the bottom right is quadrant 4. One thing that's sometimes helpful to know about this is that in quadrant 1, both our ordered pairs are always positive. In quadrant 2, our x is negative, but our y is positive. Oh my goodness, I keep mixing them up. All right, our x is negative and our y is positive. In quadrant 3, both values are negative, and in quadrant 4, we have a positive x but a negative y. And then the point at the very, very middle of our coordinate plane where the x and y axis meet is called the origin. And you think about the origin as the starting point. That is our starting point that we are always going to use when we are graphing points as ordered pairs. It's always in relation to that origin. All right, so looking at our first one, we have the ordered pair 3, 3. So since our x tells us how to move left or right, and our y tells us how to move up or down, I'm going to start at the origin, and I'm going to go positive 3, so I'm going to go to the right 3, and then I'm going to go up 3, and that's where our first point is going to go. And as we can see, that would be in quadrant 1. Our next one is the opposite of both of those. It's negative 3, negative 3. So now we're going to go to the left 3 and down 3 as we graph our next point. And that's going to be point B, and we can see that that is in quadrant 3. I want you to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can graph the next 4 points accurately and also name their quadrants. All right, hopefully you paused the video and you went ahead and graphed. So the next one's 5, negative 5. So I'm going to go to the right 5, but then down 5. And that's going to be point C, and that is in quadrant 4. Then we have negative 5, positive 5, which is up in quadrant 2. These are probably the ones that people have the most trouble with, are the ones with 0. So since this one's 0, negative 2, it means I'm not going to move left or right, and I'm just simply going to move down 2. And because it's on the borderline, we actually say that this is none, because it's not fully in either quadrant. And then with 2, 0, it's positive 2, and then we're not moving up or down, so that's where F is. And same thing, that is in none of the quadrants, so we put that as none. That kind of covers it. The only other thing would be, for example, if we had a point like right here, and you had to write the ordered pair for that, The way we would do that is we would still start at that origin, and we're going to figure out how we're moving left or right first. So I'm going to go ahead and label this as point, we'll call it Z. If I move, I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4. So my X value will be -4. And here I went up 1, or +1. So the ordered pair would be -4, +1. But remember, it's always in relation to that origin point. And we think about how we're counting from there. And it's always left or right first before we move up or down when it comes to graphing ordered pairs.